Can a game work if it's borrowing a ton of ideas from an older game that you have the best childhood memories of? Parkitect answers that question with a resounding yes. Adopting a ton of mechanics from Roller Coaster Tycoon, Parkitect really brings me back. I remember playing Roller Coaster Tycoon for an entire weekend while my parents were out of town, probably solidifying my love for computers and my ability to sit in front of one for an inhuman amount of time. Anyway, Parkitect feels comfortable. And part of that fact is that so many of the mechanics are ripped right from the game I hate to have to keep bringing up. It's so much like playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, you might forget that it's not. But even though Parkitect is building on a long-established franchise, there are some improvements. The most obvious one you've probably already noticed, the graphics. Parkitect has a nice, clean, modern look. Those ride animations are crisp. The menus follow on that same look, which make them very pleasant to use. You quickly become acclimated to searching for items, and it's great the menu slides out of the way when you're trying to place an object. Parkitect has this great eyedropper tool to select items quickly so you can just place them right away, making it so you don't have to even think about what trash can you were placing in the park the entire time. Use the eyedropper tool, select it, continue on your way. Of course, the old standards are here for you to change the ride's color and music. There's also some really slick views that help you build the coasters. You can see G-forces, airtime, velocity, and scenario rating. I really like these charts. Even though the UI is quite good, building underground can be a pain in the ass. It's the one area where the UI offers no help. You can move the platform you're building up and down easily, but it's so difficult to determine where it is. It's especially difficult to line up underground pathways, and Parkitect has a building UI that it wants you to use over using the mouse, but it isn't any better. Giving the player the ability to move through each layer would have been a lot easier. The system for building your coaster is the traditional style though, where you place it piece by piece by piece, which will feel right at home for old-timers, but newcomers will have a small learning curve. Expect to ruin a couple and get frustrated with trying to line up the last piece of your monorail so it can enter the station at the same height. But there are plenty of pre-built coasters if you would rather not bother. There's a good diversity between cheap, expensive, simple, and complex. Really, the entire blueprint system is a dream. Select a prefab item and plop it down. It also nicely separates the game between maintaining a park and building a coaster. Depending on your mood, you could jump into a game, create a coaster, and save it for later. Right now, the prefabs in the game are a bit limited, but Parkitect comes with Steam Workshop support, and there's already a wealth of items in there. To me, this is the biggest seller, because there's only so many coasters I'll be able to build. I really was getting frustrated trying to get a monorail around my park. I'm not the type of player to go super deep, getting my hands dirty, building a full coaster with 100 different colors or with a theme. However, the ones in the Steam Workshop are great. You can tell the creators put a ton of effort into them and they look amazing in-game. The simulation of people works as you'd expect. People will use benches right next to food stalls to eat. They will walk down pathways where nothing is, even if they're carrying a map, so you do need to put up signs that block their path. Employees need their own paths to get around to keep the magic alive, hide them behind walls, or, for an added expense, go underground. Side note, I have high praise for Parkitect's system for raising and lowering the terrain level. This is amazing work. How it will automatically place pathways and coasters underground is incredible. But now I really need an undo because this is a mess. Moving on. Parkitect does have a campaign mode of 26 levels. It's fairly straightforward with different layouts where you need to build a theme park and get the required amount of visitors. As you complete the levels in the game, it makes them available in sandbox mode. It's all fairly clear-cut and will provide a nice introduction for new players. Pros will probably speed through them though. The campaign can feel a little drawn out though. Each level will take a lot longer than you expect. Now that's because even at the fastest setting, the game feels slow. When you end up using all your funds building a coaster, you'll be forced to wait around as the money rolls in. This goes against the expectations of a sim game where at maximum speed, the game should whip by so fast that any positive or negative outcome is amplified. The possibility of being punished for going maximum speed is what keeps you on your toes. The question is, did I make all the right moves to allow me to speed up the game? There's no reason to make the player wait if they've nailed it. The issue is magnified if you're only using prefab coasters, since you could design a coaster while you wait for your guests to give you their money. This has the side effect of disrupting your attention. Normally sim games are so absorbing that you lose track of time. However, in Parkitect, you can feel the time slowly drag on as you wait for money. Don't expect to feel that one more turn feeling, because during those lulls, you'll feel fine quitting and coming back later. It's a big departure from what I expected. It was even more obvious after I played with unlimited cash and definitely did lose track of time. Overall, Parkitect is good, and I like it. The early access period was kind to it. I expect it to expand more as time goes on. If you're wondering where the hell the coaster cam is, well, there isn't one. But there is already a mod for it, which makes me hopeful for other things to be added to the game. There's enough people invested and creating for this game. I expect fans of the genre will be happy. Hey, thanks for watching. YouTube says I need a name for my subscribers. I'm thinking of Pepples. Pepples, Yeah? I'm still workshopping it a bit. I think that one sucks too. Come up with something.